Welcome to 3D Friday. Now, I know what you are thinking. You're thinking, where did he get that lip merch from? Look at that. You can't see it. The mic's in the way. Look at that. New StayFreshShoe merch. Not available in stores. That is not available in stores right now. It probably will never be available in regular stores, but at some point, maybe. For now, though, it's just for me. I probably wouldn't really sell many of them at this point, but once world domination takes over, then we're going to be in the money. But for now, look, tell me what you think. Do you like it? Is that something you'd buy? Let me know. I think it's it's supposed to be subtle. You know, it's subtle. So you're not like, if you're not in the circle, you can't wear it. It doesn't matter. It's just a nice shoe with Stay Fresh written on it. I did get another version done as well. This one is a white one. But unfortunately, for some reason, they didn't put the Stay Fresh on it. So, yeah, I don't know about that. I need to get in touch with them and ask them, why isn't my design printed on the t-shirt? And if they come back to me and they're like, oh, we didn't print it white on a white t-shirt because that doesn't make any sense, my reaction's going to be, the design was white. Put it on there. Actually, while we're here, I'm just going to quickly check. Did I actually mess that design up? Yep, look, right there. You can see it right there. Well, you may not be. You probably can see it. In there, it is white. It is there. I am right. They are wrong. They did my design wrong. I need a free t-shirt now. Anyway, back to 3D Friday. What is it you're asking? Well, essentially, if you've been watching my stream recently, yep, I have started streaming again, kind of semi-casually, but it's coming a bit more. You would have known that I have procured a 3D printer, which is right there. Right there. Look at it. It's even printing as we speak. It's printing right now. And what it's printing, I'm going to show you, okay? It's quite exciting, really. I've been very interested in 3D printing for a long time. Always before, I was never sure how much I'd actually use a 3D printer. But I must admit, it's pretty much been running 24/7 since I got it. I'm using it quite a lot. What I'm printing, you could say, is questionable in use and importance. But to them, I say nay. Everything I print, I need. And it's cool because now I feel like I've legit got like Amazon in my house. And that sounds weird, but I'm going to explain why. Essentially, if I want something, I don't have to buy it anymore. All I need to do is either find a design or make the design, and then I can make it at home. Easy. So, for example, I've got examples here and everything. This is legit. I'm going to show you what's going on. So, for example, I Airsoft. And 3D printing and airsofting is beautiful because the two merge in many different ways. I'm actually printing something airsofty right now, which I'll show you. But I wanted to make a stand for my Glock. So for those of you who don't know, this is what a Glock is. It's airsoft. Don't worry, it's fake. It's a fake firearm. Look, if I do this, look, it's airsoft. YouTube, it's airsoft. Don't worry, it's fine. So what I wanted to do is, I'm not really using this at the minute, so I wanted to make a stand for it. And you may think, where that's going to be expensive. Where's he going to get one from? And I used my brain and I decided I was going to make one. And that's exactly what I did. So what I did first of all was, I made this thing, which is a replica of, well, I say a replica, it's a 3D model of essentially a Glock magazine. So if I go over here, this is what the Glock Airsoft magazine looks like. And this is what the 3D model one is that I made. So they're pretty much, look at that. They're almost identical. The angles are the same. The sizes, the dimensions are the same. Everything, for the sake of this video, is exactly the same. And yeah, so if I show you that, so put the proper magazine in, goes in like that, clip, press the release, it comes out. And the same with this little doohickey. Put it in, click, press the release, comes out. Like magic. Now, I must admit, I was very proud of myself when that happened, because it's the first thing I've 3D modeled. Literally got this software, started modeling, and yeah, the very first thing I've made, and it only bloody works. Very happy about that. So, what I then went on to do was I made this. And this is essentially a little stand, which I can put on the magazine in this gap here, so it doesn't move out of the way, it stays in place, and the gun sits on this top bit here. And like that is a stand for my Glock. And here it says Glock, On this side, it says Tokyo Marui G18C, because that's the make and type of Glock. And then there was some text here, which failed to come out, which is supposed to say 30 round Greer gas magazine, but it didn't work. And that's okay, because we're all about learning here, and I learned from that. This is the V1 model. Unfortunately, you may be able to see there's a load of white on the stand here. That's from super glue, because I broke this off by accident. I was using it a bit too roughly, and it broke off, which was a shame. But the V2 version was a fair bit better. Now, with the V2 version, what I decided to do was make the platform at the bottom thinner. As you can see, the difference between the two, quite a big difference. I made this text a bit more higher. This text on this side, I removed the magazine text and replaced it with designed by StayFreshShoe. I took out the material behind the Glock sign, so that's just like floating up there. And that's kind of, oh yeah, and for the stand here, to make it stronger, I actually put in some hollow tubes in there to give it a bit more structural support, of which I will show you. This is the V2 version of the model. So once it loads all in, it's just kind of going through my edits and stuff. Now, if I select this magazine here, or this one shot, and select whole, you'll see these tubey things. Now, these tubey things give this top bit extra strength. You see, I'm bending it, and nothing's happening there. Very strong, very good. And it's all part of the learning process, and I'm very happy that I'm learning, because learning is power. Yeah, so look, and that's pretty much it there, and it printed out very nice, very nice. But the next step, I think, is going to be to try and two-color it. So instead of having text coming out from it, I want to have recesses, print the text in a different coloured filament, which is the plastic stuff you print with, and then stick them in place. That's the goal. Will it work? I don't know, but we'll find out in future. But anyway, that's that kind of project. I've said that that project is pretty much done, just because I wanted to make a stand for my Glock. I've successfully made a stand for my Glock, and then that just like sits at the side there, all nicely. This I'm just kind of keeping as a memory piece, but it's also nice that is very, because it's so thick, like there, it's very strong, which is very nice. So again, that's kind of keeping as a memory piece. This I'm keeping. I'm very proud of that. The first thing I designed and printed, and it was a winner. And to be fair, look, because it's so amazing, it just goes in there like that. I've got a storage position for my mag that I printed, and it's so sturdy in there. Oh, technology, amazing. So, what have I been working on recently? Well, a friend of mine needed something called a Picatinny riser. Now, for those of you out there who are familiar with Airsoft, you'll know what that is. But for those of you who don't and don't really know guns, I'm about to learn you some knowledge. So on an Airsoft rifle and on other general rifles, this is my baby, by the way, this stuff here is called Picatinny. This is a Picatinny rail, and you use this to mount things on. So for my gun, as you can see, I've got a red dot scope sight. Red dot sight mounted on top of it on my Picatinny rails. And my buddy, because he's wearing a full face mask now when he plays, he needs a riser to go on this to bring his red dot sight up in the air so he can then use it properly. Because at the minute, I can use mine perfectly fine, but if I was to wear a mask, I'd need a bit of extra height. Just like that. So that's why I decided to try and make for him a riser to go on his gun. Now, there's lots of models available online which you can go and find quite easily, but I wanted to have a bit of a challenge and to make it myself. I would later find out that this was a bad decision and I shouldn't have done that because it worked out badly. So this is the 3D model that I made from scratch. I was very happy with the top bit here. That worked quite well. The problem that I kind of ran into though was making the bloody thing attach to the gun. It was a nightmare. And I got everything else done, and then literally this last section took bloody hours. And then when it printed out, it didn't even work properly. And that was probably the biggest kick in the pants. So that's the 3D model version of it. And this is the actual 3D printed one. Now, because this is plastic, and when things get hot, and when plastic gets hot, it expands, and when it gets cold, it contracts. I've never printed something that has to fit into itself to this degree. So unfortunately for me, when this came out, the plastic contracted quite a bit on this side, and now that doesn't really fit, as you can tell in there. So that was a bit of a pain, and you know, it took quite. It took like what, 4 hours to print that. It was probably about, I don't know, how much, like a pound, two pounds in material. So like, it's not like a big cost. I'm not annoyed by that because, you know, prints fail all the time. It's just something that you kind of deal with. But I was just annoyed that the thing I designed, it just didn't work. But it's a learning process, and I've learned from this, so that's the thing. So part of me was a little bit dead inside and didn't really want to revisit this. And I figured for now, I'm new to 3D printing. I've had it for like, what, 2-3 weeks. I've been actively printing on it for about 2 weeks now. So I figured I'd just find a model online and modify it to make it work. And that's what I did with this one right here. Now, there is 3 on here just because when I make my models, like, there's a final one, and then I make copies just so I can, you know, I don't, if I mess it up, then I can go back a few steps. And the way this one attaches is you slide it on from the front like that. So you'll slide it on down the guard like that, all the way down, and then you put your attachy bit on it, and then, you know, you're on a winner. Life's a good one. So I figured that would probably be a good option. And, you know, the screw size as well. I've got plenty of screws that will fit in these gaps. And it's quite clever. It's got this little kind of gap up here. So when you do put the screw in, it tensions it and makes it, you know, properly stick to your rail. So hopefully that will work for my friend. I did try and print one off last night, but unfortunately I ran into a little bit of an issue. And, yeah, the print failed just like that. So... yeah, it's a pain. There's lots of like stringing and stuff on the top there. Everything was going really well. Like, it looks great. The only problem with it is that the filament up here, the plastic going down, it got caught up in the roll and stopped going down, and it snapped. And then the print finished itself off printing with no plastic. So yeah, it got to there and then couldn't go any further. That was all she wrote. So that was a shame. That was a shame. This was going to take 3 hours in total. From the look of it, it probably got to about the 1.5 hour mark, and kablooey. So we're doing another one now. That's literally what is happening right now on the printer. Look, you can have a little look. That's exactly what's happening right now. Making another one. It's 4% done, so we probably got about another 2.5 hours until that's completed, and then we're going to be on to a good one. So don't worry, Zan. Your rise is coming, and it will be great. So yeah, like, all in all, 3D printing, I must say, has been a very fun and exciting hobby so far. Bit of a learning curve. I must admit I was a little bit stuck at the start trying to figure out how to use this thing. But all in all, I feel powerful. Kind of like when I started lockpicking as a new hobby. You start walking around looking at padlocks, and every time you see a lock on a door, you're like, hey, could I do that? Could I open? I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that. And then you get arrested, and then your life sucks. So don't do ones that you don't own. But like lockpicking, great hobby. Recommend that too. And yeah, 3D printing, fantastic hobby. You can make like everything. And I'm starting to get into photogrammetry. Yeah, it's when you take pictures of something, like lots of pictures, and then you put it in a software and it automatically generates a 3D model of that thing. It's something I'm really excited about. And I'm going to make miniature models of like everything. So for example, I want to start off, I want to make a model of a monster can, because why not? Why not make a model of a monster can? I want to make a miniature version of this. I want to make, like, you know, probably a full-size version of the Glock, because I can print that off in full size. And I may even be able to like do photogrammetry of the magazines. I don't see why not, but I could do that. And then, you know, I wouldn't have to like manually make everything. I can make the pictures and then just get the one dimension sorted out, and then boom, I won't have to worry about making stuff. So yeah, excited about that. But for now, that was this first 3D Friday. Welcome to the series. The intention is for every Friday for there to be a new 3D Friday, either video or live stream. So check out the Twitch At StayFreshShoe is the Twitter. / StayFreshShoe is the Twitch. Twitch.tv StayFreshShoe. And yeah, we'll have a great time. It's going to be fantastic stuff. And I'll see you there for some 3D printy shenanigans. Stay fresh. Oh, wait, let's zoom in and do that. Stay fresh.